Have you ever noticed that a pile of dead leaves, vegetable scraps, and old coffee grounds, the exact things you throw away, can quietly turn into some of the richest soil on Earth? No machines, no chemicals, just time. Somewhere between the banana peel in your bin and the soil in a thriving garden, something invisible is happening. And once you understand it, you'll never look at waste the same way again. Let's dig into the science, right here on Simply Understood. At its core, composting is decomposition, but guided. Left alone in nature, a fallen leaf breaks down over months or years. In a compost pile, that same process can happen in weeks. The difference isn't magic, it's conditions. Compost needs four things to work well: carbon rich material, nitrogen rich material, oxygen, and moisture. Carbon comes from browns, dry leaves, cardboard straw. Nitrogen comes from greens, vegetable scraps, grass clippings, coffee grounds. Balance these two, and you've built the fuel source for an entire hidden ecosystem. Because that's really what a compost pile is, like an ecosystem. Bacteria arrive first, breaking down the simplest sugars. As they work, they generate heat, sometimes pushing the pile's core above 60 degrees Celsius. This heat isn't a side effect, it's a filter. It kills weed seeds and harmful pathogens, leaving behind material that's safe and stable. As the sugars run out, a second wave arrives: fungi and actinobacteria, organisms built to break down tougher material like cellulose and lignin. Then come the larger decomposers: worms, beetles, mites, physically shredding material into smaller pieces, increasing the surface area for microbes to keep working. What looks like a still, quiet pile in your backyard is, at a microscopic level, one of the most active biological processes happening anywhere near your home. But here's the part most people never think about. Compost isn't really about producing dirt. Finished compost is closer to a delivery system. It introduces billions of living microorganisms into soil that would otherwise be relatively lifeless. Plants don't just absorb nutrients passively. They form relationships with these microbes, trading sugars for minerals in an underground exchange that's been happening for hundreds of millions of years. Compost doesn't just feed plants. It rebuilds an entire underground economy of exchange. This is why compost improves soil in ways synthetic fertilizer can't. Fertilizer delivers nutrients directly, but it does nothing for soil structure or biological life. Compost does both. It improves how soil holds water, how loosely it's packed, and how easily roots can spread. Over time, composted soil becomes something closer to a living organism than a static material. There's also a quiet historical layer to all of this. Long before composting was a word, farming cultures across the world were already returning organic material to soil out of necessity, not environmentalism. Ancient Roman writers documented turning manure and plant waste back into fields. In parts of Asia, night soil and crop residue cycling sustained soil fertility for thousands of years without any understanding of microbiology. What we now frame as an eco-conscious hobby was once simply how agriculture survived. The science only caught up to explain what farmers already knew by observation. Zoom out further, and composting reveals something bigger about natural systems in general. Almost nothing is truly wasted. Every output becomes another system's input. Fallen leaves become nutrients. Nutrients become growth. Growth eventually falls again. Modern life, by contrast, is one of the few systems where materials are designed to go in a straight line. Used once, then discarded. Composting is one small, quiet way of rejoining a much older circular pattern. So the next time you toss a vegetable scrap into a bin, it's worth remembering: that scrap isn't disappearing. It's entering one of the oldest processes on the planet, one that was recycling life long before we had a word for it.